Hello! In this video, we'll dive into the Find Correlations feature in Trackingplan to explore how it can help you identify correlations where a property is missing. So typically in Trackingplan, properties are inferred automatically, both their types and their presence, alerting you if a property that is required is missing. For example, here, Trackingplan is telling us that the market property, which is set as required, is missing in 73% of cases in the user info event. Until now, you've always had the option to click on the warning to see its evolution over time, and click on Trackingplan's debug warning to uncover correlated issues. For instance, it might reveal that the missing market property correlates with the language parameter in the data layer being set to English, since when the parameter is set to Spanish, the issue doesn't occur. But what happens when a property is optional? Let's look at the card ID property in the user info event. It's present 86% of the time, but since it isn't marked as required, no warnings are triggered. While you as a user could mark it as required so that Trackingplan starts generating a warning the next day as new data comes in, the thing is, with it currently marked as optional, you wouldn't be able to explore this correlation properly, as no warning is triggered. That's why now we can go to any property that isn't complete, even if it's optional like this one, and a new button called Find Correlations will appear. What will this button do is find which other properties in the data layer, the page, or the event correlate with this issue. We can see how this correlation finder allows us to apply any configuration. It reminds us that we're in the user info event, and it quickly tells us that this issue occurs when the domain is mybrand.com. Let's see what this means. If we filter by domain, we clearly identify that the issue happens when the card ID property is missing in the user info event when the domain is mybrand.com, but it doesn't occur when the domain is shoes.com. This makes perfect sense, as the payment gateway is on shoes.com and the website doesn't have it. Here we can see that out of 512 hits, in the case of shoes.com, the property has never been missing, whereas in the case of mybrand.com, the property has always been missing. So the system is telling you the cause of why this condition occurs by quickly identifying such patterns, saving you hours of manual debugging. The important thing here is when the clarification is high. Let's find another example. Here in the purchase event, we notice that the channel property is missing 38% of the time. Let's investigate it using our Find Correlations feature, and we quickly see that this isn't arriving 100% of the time because analytics consent is denied. And if we keep exploring, we can see that in other values, it's always present. So it's as clear as day that the issue is related to the consent setting. If you'd like to explore this feature further or have questions, feel free to reach out to our support team. Thanks for watching, and happy tracking!